Hello. I have been just trying to figure out what to say next, I guess. It's like 7 in the morning on a Sunday. I'm reading all the like movies and TV show names that they have going on Android TV right now. Just like across the board. I tried to get a Hulu account the other day. I was like, do I still have a free, like the option for a free month? And the answer is no. I don't. I have to pay for my cartoons, which is just really sad. I wanted to get another free month. So there's that. Let's see. I know I'm kind of distracted because I'm moving again soon. I just like feel like all my energy is kind of taken up in that right now. You know how it takes so much mental headspace when you move. You're like, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do this, and suddenly everything you own is like an item again that you have to account for. And God, the trash people, or like whoever goes through our trash ultimately, you know, like when it ends up at the landfill or before then or whatever. I hope they love me because I throw away the weirdest shit. I really hope they do. I've started to be like, I had to stop myself actually because I started to be like, and this is for the trash people. And I'm like, the trash people don't necessarily exist, Cozy. They exist in your head just to make you feel better about like the way recycling and trash has gone. You're like, well, the trash economy is actually doing pretty well based on the things like I throw away as a consumer. So in theory, somebody's like benefiting off of that, but that's not necessarily the case. So I gotta stop doing that. God, I got these butterbeer kisses, you know, like chocolate kisses, but Harry Potter themed. Like, I got a bag of them, I don't know, months ago in January or December or something, right around the end of the holiday season, and I had all these plans to use them in baking just because the butterbeer flavor, like that butterscotch flavor, is actually just the best, and I wanted to use it in a bunch of stuff since it was kiss style. Um, you know, because it'll melt down a lot easier, but I haven't really used it in a lot. They're just like sitting in my freezer. And every now and then I'll eat one and I'll be like, oh my god, butterbeer. Oh, so intense. That's like all I got right now. I'm like, gosh, you know, I started these casts at least a little bit as as like a yearning, um, love song towards my lost love, and now that that's like kind of stopped being the premise or like a living experience that I'm having, sometimes I'm like, I don't know what to do, just say something. Like, what do I say? Take away the yearning. Am I even a girl? I ask myself that. I mean, there's plenty of yearning things, or like things to be yearning about. I'm just like joshing around, really. But sometimes I'm like, I don't know what to say. And this is why the blueprint is such a great idea, and why I know like not everybody was stoked for us to escape Blueprint Prison, because it's like, but Cozy, Blueprint Prison is nice. We like it when we know what's gonna happen next. That's how I imagine you talking in my head. I also know that I have a significant amount of people that I've upset or worried or whatever, through my erratic, quote, quote, on the erratic behaviors, seeming erratic anyway. And at the very least, if not actually erratic, because I do get actually erratic, you know, not to be confusing, but I do both. Um, And I don't want anybody to be worried anymore, especially because, like, I can feel your worry and it's not helpful to me. But I also want us all to, like, feel good moving forward and, like, nobody to have questions and for it to just be, like, a positive experience for all. So, kind of on the fence with that. Um, but please, yeah, please don't be worried. And not trying to, I feel like I indicated to a lot of different groups that I know all their secrets, and that's, first of all, not true. Second of all, totally a showmanship thing, that's just like what you do as an illusionist or as a magician, as a fortune teller, to be like, I know your secrets, now pay me, and I will tell you what they are. Really backfired for me. Nobody paid me at all, and people got really upset that I might know their secrets, and I'm like, I don't. Oh no, I really don't. I promise you I do not know your secrets, but here we are. Still begging for my life. No, I'm just kidding. Still just like, yeah, don't, please talk to my team. Can I refer you to my team? They'll answer all the questions. And people have been like, first of all, I'm on your team. Second of all, where is that account? Like, why are you directing people to talk to us? Like, we can't explain you. You're on your own. Like, you are your own explanation. Just in case you were wondering. And I'm like, oh yeah, this is on me. I'm gonna have to do this. Seater 8. I decided to remake the core lore playlist on Spotify. But yeah, other than that, I think I've been really stuck on my, like, I know somebody who would call it like autism eating behaviors. Just like, this is my meal and this is like what I'm eating now, and it's just like the same thing. Every time. Which I like I know sometimes I get just exhausted at the idea of treating, and this is one reason I don't talk about it, as though it's like, this is autism, because first of all, I've never been diagnosed. Second of all, as much as I relate to autism, like definitions, I'm also just like frustrated to some extent that like we have to single it out in general in a way that implies it's a problem, purely because it doesn't, most of the time, purely because it doesn't like interact with what people remember, think of as being normal, quote, quote, like human stuff. I'm like, you realize humans are going to continue to evolve, right? Like, that's going to happen more than once. No, it's 934. No, it's 394. 394. 516. Okay. Yeah, that's going to happen more than once. So, like, I just think it's really wrong to be like, oh yeah, essentially like this is a psychological illness. I'm like, is illness the right word? I think it's coming from a larger frustration, like in all of psychology as a whole, which, I have been not warned off necessarily, but I think like my fatigue of the topic speaks to a larger fatigue in the group of people who consider themselves psychologists, or psychology like majors. So I'm trying not to harp on psychology much at all right now, but at the same time, it's, what was I gonna say? Jesus. Oh, there needs to be more positivity in the like framework for some of this stuff, and not like positivity necessarily, but just like I guess more delineation, like non RSS link. Um, this idea that like you can be something or have something and it not be like a negative thing. And that lack of negative thing is really a question of whether, um, can I fit into mainstream society or not? Like, and easily accomplish tasks or, complete goals or whatever it is within the society, the like mainstream society that you are apparently like an outsider in, um, without it being a negative thing, but it is always defined by default as a negative thing because it's already framed by default as like an illness that requires healing. And I know that ADHD and autism have both come a long way in like disability advocacy on that topic when it comes to like specifically being accepted or included by society, like making inroads to just be a more inclusive society for those like we're considering disabled or not necessarily fitting in that well. It's like society needs to learn to adapt back to us more quickly, and it's just autism is one of my favorite examples because so much of autism is like perfectly fine when it's in its own environment. Like when autism is hanging out around other autism people, like there's no fucking problem, right? Like they communicate without an issue. All of those markers that people were considering to be like, oh, it doesn't fit mainstream society. It doesn't like, you know, quite get along. And it's like that's because you took it out of its environment. Like it's fine when it's in its environment. And like I know there are extreme or like there is a spectrum of autism and I'm harping on like one specific identity that I relate to heavily, but that not necessarily, is one that I hold as in like never been officially diagnosed, but I'm also comfortable with self-diagnosing and for anybody, but for me as well, and I'm like perfectly fine to be like, oh yeah, I'm autistic. Like I fit these parameters for sure. Um, but still, like I just don't think it's valid to be like, and this is a bad thing, right? Because like why? It's not necessarily a bad thing. And I'm literally like, don't feel bad for me because I'm literally harping on this because of depressive disorder. Like, I have major depressive disorder, and I'm positive that there are things about it that are good for me, that are like good things in general, and they just don't fit or like work very well within the society that I live in or the framework of like the group dynamics that I live in, and I'm salty about it. Like, I know there are social ills and like personal dangers and like social dangers to not fitting in, like, and that it's a part of our collective regulation together as people and like a sign of like healthy or like decisions surrounding what we consider healthy as groups because we're consensus seekers. Like all of this seems very important and whatever, but at the same time I'm just like, why does major depressive disorder have to be a bad thing? And I know that's ridiculous, but it's just like all of psychology seems to be framed as like, well, it's a bad thing because it's an illness that we're trying to cure. because it all starts with medicalism. So it gets really frustrating. It's almost like being an ex-trans girl, and like, yeah, I know the ex part is weird, but like I left psychology and I don't plan to re-enter it as a field, so it is an X for me in a way. But like it's almost like being an X and being like, oh yeah, I just can't stand that. Trans medicalism is what I was gonna say, but like I just can't stand the medicalism at the underlying aspects of it. I get a lot of its importance and like significance and all of this, super great stuff, but at the same time I'm like, do we really need this? Do we need this to be real? Like, do we need it to look that way? I also think, generalized anxiety disorder, ADHD, all this stuff, like, this goes back to neurodiversity. I'm like, there are so many good things about these diseases, quote, quote, on the disease, like, yeah, it does interfere with your life. It is it is a struggle. There's so much going on that's like, just makes it shitty. And depending on, what your job is and like how you're living, it makes it more or less shitty. Currently, I'm jobless, so that makes it easier. Of course, it makes major depressive disorder a lot harder too. Um, but in some ways, But yeah, just like thinking about the things that I get out of not being able to do much daily, which just sounds awful. Like, oh, I see positive things in, having little to no energy to do things. It's like, are you sure that's not just the depression talking, trying to keep you in its thrall? And it's like, well, maybe. Yeah, like possibly, but I also get a lot of writing done. I get a lot of like internal headspace stuff done that just would not be done otherwise, and I can't let it go. Just so you don't get attached. Oh god, my friend, that is way too late. Oh my god. Um, yeah, I don't know. I just like, I've been thinking lately. These are my thoughts. One of the things I really want to do today, actually, if I can possibly manage it, is organize my art because it's really not organized at all. And every time I try to go do art, I get overwhelmed. I get so overwhelmed. I'm like, why did you have to be this confusing? Like, okay, I'm moving you. Moving you. Moving you. Moving you. Let me decide for each file. They are all the same? Oh my god, can I just replace them then? Replace. Jesus. Okay, thinking out loud. Goes into sketches. Okay, this is looking less terrifying. Cyberpunk and Lamia World. I just want to open you in a new tab. Jesus. I know I shouldn't have done this while I started talking, but I was really just kind of like, I don't really... I love you, fam, but I really don't have a whole lot to say today, and it's like an hour-long speech that I have to give you every fucking day. Not to be like mad or anything to become the speech giver, and I'm not. I'm like literally not mad at all. I was listening to myself from earlier instances and I was like, damn, like I cannot believe you said that at the time that you said it. You like that was brave, you know, like thinking back on myself and not to be, I don't know, like big upping myself in front of you, but I was just like, that was really brave. That was something that like, you know, I wasn't expecting out of you, and I'm really glad that it happened. Okay. Well, now I want these out there. What the fuck are objects? Okay. All right. This this is bad. This is like not. Oh my God, this is not organized the way that I would want to organize it. It's really bad. I like these stickers though. I can't wait to like finish drawing them, I suppose. Bitchy witch and a glitch. That's me, alright. Okay, Lamia World is like the worst as far as organization goes. I'm pretty sure. Like, what is mic check? Okay. I'm never touching that again, but I refuse to touch the folder. God, I love coffee. Homeworld. 3069 to 3169. Okay. That's 100 years. But no worries, you know, that's fine. Just make stuff up and I'll come along behind you and make more stuff up until it makes sense. Ugh. Artichoke. I've just been like slicing and dicing. Here's the real problem. I'm like trying to organize my Lamia World stuff because I have some really cool things that have been getting created out of it. And they're, I wouldn't say disappearing or falling to the wayside, but I'm like losing them in some of these side folders, like the overlays for some of the comic templates. For example, just the vertical and the horizontal, like weed smoking overlay that turns it into, you know, like separate comic squares. All of that just keeps being like, which folder was that in? Who fucking knows? And that's been going on for the whole story, like the whole time. So it's very disorganized. Um, a pirate story. A pirate story really is going well. It's just like there's a lot happening, and I'm like, I want to keep talking about this, but at this point now it's like high cost to keep talking about it. I'm like, ugh. Part of that is just the drawing. I'm like, there's so much story that I am trying to tell you by drawing it out. And it really is, it's better when I draw it. It just is. I don't. Should I? You want me to? I'll try. Aww. Damn, I forgot about Five Finger Death Punch. Or like, I just know that one song. I guess most people are like that. I never thought it was weird until I met someone who like, yeah, they like categorically know the artist. Well, I met a couple people who are just like album listeners, but like they still are and they have been listening to albums for fucking decades. And I'm just like, oh, I'm not an album listener. Like I look at the album, I choose maybe 3 or 4 songs that resonate with me based on name. I listen to those and then I move on. So to meet people who just listen to full albums and then just remember them, I'm like, no, that's not me. I can't. I'm like, I can tell you the one hit wonder song, that you like will never remember in your life. I'll remember it for you. That's for sure the thing that I do, but I will not be listening to albums and remembering them like that. Oh my gosh. I'm still so proud of all of these Cozy's casts images that I drew. Like, holy shit. I'm sitting here complaining at how disorganized my art folder is, and it's because of how much, like, I've been abusing, well, not abusing, but kind of abusing my own artistic talents just to, like, get a bunch of things said that really I felt needed to be said, and now I'm like, oh god, what do I do? And I think that's part of where we're at with the casting. I'm like, oh, like, finally, I said everything I felt, just to catch up. Like, I feel like I've said everything that really needed to be said, out loud, and like, to the people I know who are listening or who might be listening, and then also like, like kind of caught up to where we are in the world, and now I'm like, okay, but what are we saying here? And I have everything in one big playlist, which helps so that I can look at it. I call it Cozy's House. You can follow it on Spotify if you follow me on Spotify. Please listen to me on Spotify or YouTube, or somehow help me monetize through advertisement, because I am really struggling to make ends meet, and that would help me a lot. Oh my god, we have so many interviews coming up too, and that's like another reason I'm not super like my attention span for my casts are not as intense, because I'm like, okay, we're gonna interview the shapeshifter, the punk rocker, and the fae, and one other person. I can't remember. I think she's the bike girl. I thought she stole my tent, but it turns out she just has a tent that looks exactly like mine. Somebody took my tent, and I know they gave it to somebody else in the community who needs it, and I appreciate that, but I also would like it back if at all possible. That would be nice. But yeah, so we'll be interviewing some more people here soon, and I'm like really stoked about that, and a significant amount of my attention is just focused on that because I want to make it really, really good. the first few people who interviewed with me were super brave to do so, and they made really good interviews, and I love the interviews I have with like Octavio and the witch, the astrologer. I keep wanting to call him Dr. Hyde, but D Hyde, and then the cast with Posey, the cast with like the poetic um perspective of like my intellect was really fun. That was with our friend Ollie and or I guess Posey at the time, and not sure even if they're going by those names now, but what a brave soul to like help me bring that in at the time. We did bring in that conversation. It was amazing. But I also want to make clear, like, I'm not necessarily trying to interview people for like hard-hitting, intense discussions about the state of the world. I also want to interview people purely for, I want to know who you are, like what your life is like, what things, like how are things going for you, and how do you view things like labor and love in the context of, the life that you're experiencing. And I think that's really powerful. It's highly specific, and so I'm hoping, or I'm excited to get some more perspectives in here and just like kind of change up the space a little bit, the listening space. I know like people get really worried and anxious listening to me because they're like, oh my God, they can't imagine. Here's the thing, and this has happened to my whole life. So hopefully, you can take some, just take some strength hearing that this is not a new phenomenon for me, but people get worried when they hear me talk because they're just like, I can't imagine saying it in a way that was less like obvious. Like, why did you say it in such an obvious way? The bad guys are gonna come and they're gonna fuck you up for saying it like that. That's pretty much the vibe that I have always been given. When I say something really plainly or really clearly, I make people really fucking anxious because they're like, I can't imagine how it can't be interpreted the way that I'm interpreting it, and the way I'm interpreting it is alarming me. And I'm like, that's great. You should probably get a hang of the way that you interpret stuff and how quickly you let out your reactions to them before I get killed because of it. Just kidding, it's not that dire, but it can be, or it feels that way when it's that intense. And so I'm just like, don't, like, you're the one who's gonna give me away, not me. Like, I said it really plainly and really obviously, but really, like, confidently, and at least part of like getting away with saying shit that like that is the confidence. And the minute you, the listener, freeze up and go, oh my God, are they gonna notice that she said that? Are they gonna notice that I noticed that she said that? Who's they? Is it the bad guys, the primordial bad guys that are just like always listening? Is that the they who are gonna hear me? Like, well, they're definitely gonna hear you if you think about them like that. Like, oh my God, stop thinking about them like that. Stop interpreting me with so much radicalism that you're like worried I'm gonna get disappeared, and start like just taking more space after hearing something to really listen to it all the way through. If you take more space to hear it, it'll insert some latency and you'll have a little extra buffering time before you have to contend with who might have heard who say what. And that's just the state of the affairs ever since the panopticon became more obvious, So not to be rude, but fucking don't get us both killed, just by the way you react to me, by the way you listen to me. Oh my God, so exhausting. Well, not even exhausting, it's fucking terrifying. It's goddamn terrifying, just constantly freaking out over here, but also not wanting to like bother anybody. Oh, that was the wrong phrase. I participated in a very successful campaign surrounding how not a bother I am to remind me not to kill myself. And it was very good, and I know I'm not a bother. But like, I'm over here doing my dangest trying to figure out how to say really inflammatory stuff in a way that will keep the good guys moving, like, and feeling invigorated, and feeling hopeful, and feeling like it's all possible, and feeling, like we can do this together. All of these, like, really honestly difficult things to keep people feeling, in my cheerleading kind of way. And I chose cheerleading because people overlook cheerleaders. Like, it was meant to be like, okay, if I say it from all the way down here, you'll still hear me, but the opposition probably won't, right? Like, hopefully, ideally, or if they do hear me, it'll just be too late, or maybe I'll be accidentally encouraging them or whatever, but I don't know. I don't think so, right? Like, I think I'm doing a great job cheerleading the people that I want to cheerlead, and the only concern that everybody has is like, this is too good to last. This can't be possible. Something's gonna go wrong. Like, she's gonna get got. I'm gonna get I'm gonna get got. I'm gonna get got. Like, this just can't last. And I'm like, look, it probably won't last. Like, nothing lasts like that. And at some point, I'm gonna have one last podcast, and that'll be the last one that I ever post. And that's just gonna happen, almost certainly. However, in the meantime, let's just enjoy the cheerleading and the party girl and the, like, hell yeah, oh my god, I would love to be like a travel guide, kinda. I was gonna say escort, and like, I really do mean escort, like I will esquire you about the place. But escorts have such a terrible reputation sometimes, and I'm just like, they don't deserve that, but that's also like not what I mean when I say escort either. So but yeah, I mean, I hope that I'm helping people at least mentally, like, kind of stretch and move around the globe in a way that they haven't before, and in doing so really encourage more yeah, I'm gonna put all these on a playlist. More room. Yeah, just like more room to think, more room to feel, more room to, like, be yourself. Oh no, I clicked on the wrong thing. And you're feeling, like, invigorated about it, really. New playlist. Top watched. Save. And I would be sad, if oh no, I need to delete that. That is a top watched, but it should. I gotta delete that. That's like a video of me pooping. Oh my god. I mean, like, you don't watch me poop, but you're like around while I talk to you while I poop, which is just too much. It's too much, man. I don't know what I thought I was doing with this YouTube account. I was like, we'll just make 3 YouTube accounts, and one of them will do this, and one of them will do that, and one of them will act like this. Oh god, that was quite the decision making I did. Top watched. Yes, okay. Now we have a playlist. Edit. Close. Edit. Yeah, I'm taking the morning movements down. I don't care how useful it was for everybody. It was really, really good. Oh my god. Fine, I'll leave it up. I'll leave it up. It wasn't, it's just talking about, like, don't be homophobic, I think. I don't really remember. These are good top watched things. I've been trying to figure out how to do the workscape capture more more ethically. I really do wish I could keep Workscapes on the Spotify and not on the YouTube, but I just can't find a way to do it without doing what I feel is stealing from the lo-fi artists. It just is. It just is. It's stealing. I love this song. Death of a Profiteer by Nathan Apollo. For him, it was me. And then, of course, Mac Miller, this song just fucking killed me.
Follow your dreams.
The Spins.
Wanna get a mansion, a jacuzzi, a theater to watch my movies, couple whips and lots of fancy things. The kids they call the Goonies. I see the future, crystal ball, mirror, mirror hanging on the wall. Who the flyest white boy of them all? Got your girlfriend screening all the calls. She bubbling, we fucking and you cuddling. Like baby, where the fuck you been? I wanna tell you she in love with him. So we ain't saying nothing. You could probably tell she bluffing, cause she kissed you with the mouth. She gave me head with my concussion. Yeah, she blushing. Oh,
God, I love that song. So fucking good. Such a jam. Ugh, I'm looking at my Easter dumpy playlist because like my mood playlist got way too long. This was just like music I was listening to around Easter.
Look inside your tiny mind and look a bit harder. Cause we're so uninspired, so sick and tired of all the hatred you harbor. So you say it's not okay to be gay. Well, I think you're just evil. You're just some racist who can't tie my laces. Your point of view is medieval.
Your point of view is medieval. Fuck you. Fuck you very, very much. Gotta love Lily Allen. Gotta love Lily Allen.
if God is a father, well then he's a deadbeat. I won't go to church or hear a thing you can tell me. We fall for religion and act like it's helping. They give us the pills and tell us how to be healthy.
Oh my god, Cheek Face. Cheek Face put out this.
Cigarettes can kill you, but if they don't, they make you stronger.
That's not true.
The six-pack rings, but you were right back wasting water. You were no good with a big knife. Yeah, you always cut your fingers and meat. I don't believe the dream or whatever, but the scars from that still linger. Are you living lo-fi? Are you living in a mess you made? Are you saving money, crashing at the practice space?
They're so good. I love Cheek Face. Like, if you need to just get real with yourself, I would check them out. I'm all about getting real with myself, though, and I'm realizing I kind of make it a bit of a religion. So, like, maybe not everybody feels that way or wants to act that way, and that's, like, a shame, really, because you should want to be real with yourself. So innocent. Now it's over. Just face it, we didn't make it. Can you taste it? Oh, I love it when she screams. There are only a few instances you can really say that, and I feel like listening to Avril Lavigne has to be one of the few that you can just like happily say with absolutely no subtext that you love it when she screams. Ah, she's so good. Okay, I'll stop. Who else? Who else did I listen to over the Easter period? A lot of funk, a lot of stuff like this. Funk is such a good like combination of industrial rap and electronica. Yeah, it's like industrial rap, like industrial, comma, rap, and then generally some type of like dub or wub, but not always, you know? That's how I think of funk. Oh, and then I found this pop artist. Jenny, all caps, IE. She did a feature with Doechii, Childish, Dominic Fike, Dua Lipa. Like, she had a lot of cool features. But I do get like a little discouraged because I guess Americans aren't really all that great at like enjoying Doechii in the first place, and I think that's really just so sad. There's so much to enjoy about Doechii. She's like a mix of Princess Nokia and Rico Nasty in her own, well, and Doja Cat, like all together, I guess. But she's doing like other things too. I don't want to be like she's a mix of all these other women, because she, you know, she is taking a lot of their, well, not taking, but I think that like their work has influenced hers and vice versa in a way where like they're reflecting each other really beautifully. Maybe I should put it that way. But like Doechii has just some fucking amazing lyricism and flow and incredible range. Not to say that Rico Nasty and Doja Cat and Princess Nokia don't, but they are very like different vibes at the end of the day, and Doechii's going really hard for pop rap, which is a hard one to do because you lose a lot of the like hard-hitting sides of rap when you go for the pop. Janelle Monáe showed us this, like even with songs like Juice or Pink, somehow she still seems like bubble wrapped, you know, like, and that happens to pop artists in general, no matter what their message is, no matter how hard-hitting it is, no matter how raw or just like absolutely unhinged their topics are, their lyrics are, somehow they still end up bubble wrapped with like this safety zone vibe that people are like, oh yeah, I could listen to this under any context and it just wouldn't penetrate my brain, you know, like it won't hit what this artist is talking about. So you have like Janelle Monáe, and this is like a very specific example I'm thinking of now, but like her song, oh god, I think it's Pink. No, it's Django Jane. Yeah. So Django Jane is like a really intense, it's off the Dirty Computer album, so it is off the 2018 album, which is definitely, by all rights, like a huge hard-hitting pop album. But Django Jane like really fucking went deep and hard and was an amazing rap song, and somehow people don't like associate her with having a whole lot of skill with rap. So, to do what Doechie's doing in the way where she's like trying to keep the raw and hard and like intense hitting aspects of rap that you see prolifically I want to say promoted by Kendrick Lamar, but I want to say just like that's the vibe, right? Like with Kendrick Lamar, he's almost placeholding a vibe that you see coming up in rap, or in like I want to say hip hop underground, in general, but just this like the like raw hardness of like this is real life, yo. But also just like hard hitting, not letting you get away from it, feeling, and yet still pop, like not pop, but like popular pop. And it's hard to get something that hard hitting to become popular, so it's really amazing to see it done in that sense. But he's holding the line, like that rawness. He's not the only fucking rapper who's like intense and raw and hard hitting. There's plenty of them out there. He's just in like almost not taking up more space than necessary. That's the wrong way to put it. But like he's holding that line, I guess, in like the pop way of like this is so prolifically popular with everybody. Like you cannot ignore this like phenomenon. It's a real life thing that's going on. And so anyway, I don't know where I was going with this. I feel like Rico Nasty broke onto the scene really intending to be different and like to be strange and off-putting in a rap star kind of way, and super succeeded with that in a freak sort of way where like people want more, and that was awesome. Love to see it, and I love seeing what she's doing now. But like Doechii is really going for that hardcore like pop rap artist thing, only for the female, right? And she's doing such a good fucking job. Holy shit. I'm so happy to see it. Like, oh my god, it's so fucking good. I'm like, you are killing it, queen. And there are so many people backing her up, like, doing similar stuff. Yeji is another artist that I'm just like, yes, let's get Asian rappers, like, not to be painting people with broad brushes, but in the music industry, it's just been so hard to get, like, cross-pollination of ideas across cultures and styling. It's really, really been difficult, partially because, like, these are pretty intense subcultures and groups that are associated with the different forms of music, but also because people are fucking racist and shitty. I don't even know how we got here. But yeah, Jennie, Jennie, I think, is the South Korean artist that featured with Doechii and Dominic Fike and whoever else. I was like, what the fuck? Like, this is how I know we're gonna be okay. It's true. It's true. I do look to South Korea to let me know how we're doing as like a world situation. Do you not do that? Oh yeah, Dua Lipa, Handlebars. I'm like, this is, this new album by Jennie is like this year. And when you look at everything released this year and last year, it's pretty fucking intense, you know? It's saying some shit. And I'm like, alright, you know, like, alright, queens and kings, let's fucking go, you monarchs. Like, oh my god, the musicians are finally not bored. And I'm not to say that they were bored necessarily before, but it's just like so many times you can scream into the ether without feeling like nobody's listening. And I hate that for them, you know? Like, they deserve to know that they're being heard. The musicians of the world have not been feeling that way. I would point out that they have not been feeling heard. And it's so important that they feel heard, you know? Like, that's an aspect to our, of our, like, helping heal ourselves and each other is to, like, really listen to our artists, listen to the musicians, listen to the people who are watching, and then lovingly reflecting ourselves back at ourselves that isn't an AI, right? Or, like, isn't the actual mirror, you know? Like, really spend some time dwelling on the reflecting pools of the musical mirrors in your world. Add to queue, add to queue. That's like all I do. All I fucking do is listen to music. Or like participate in art one way or another. And I'm like, how do people not do this? And I realized too, like a long time ago, it's like, oh, people just don't. They literally just don't think music is that important. You know, I used to tell people about my first boyfriend, which I don't really talk about as much anymore, but, and how he, like, didn't like music. I was like, so what kind of music do you like? You know, trying to get to know this new guy I'm dating. You know, I'm in middle school, so forgive me, but I'm like, what kind of music do you like? And he's like, I don't like music. And I'm like, you don't like music? What do you mean? Like, people love music, and even if they don't, like, love it extremely, you know, and they're trying to be cool and hip, they don't like just not like music. And I could tell he wasn't being that way. He wasn't like saying that he hated music because he was trying to be, you know, unique or cool or whatever. He just like did not like it. And years later he started liking Metallica, and he was like, no, I get music now. And I'm like, okay, buddy. Like, I don't want to mock anybody who likes Metallica, but like, come on, you just discovered guitar. That's how I think of it. Yeah, I mean, a lot of it is, I think people have a hard time, especially if they have drama or if they have damage from men, specifically men. They have a harder time with the following the guitar of it all. And if you follow the guitar of it all when it comes to music, you can pretty much just like trust. Trust your knowledge, you know? Pretty much. Yeah, I mean, if you listen for the guitar in any song, including songs where there is no guitar, it's just like the world will make sense to you. And I do think if you have man drama, you'll have a harder time with the world making sense, you know? It's just maybe just my perspective, but I really do think it's true. Anyway, we should probably draw some thumbnails. I don't know, you know, like where the casts are going now that I've said all my pieces for now, but I think we probably have some thumbnails to draw. What's Blackpink too? Like, is it a movie? Is it a show? It's got Cardi B in it. Huge fan of Cardi B. She doesn't give a fuck. She's like, yeah, and fuck you too. I'm like, fair enough. I love it when people are like that. It makes me feel so relieved. I'm like, okay, cool, I'm not the only one who feels that way. Oh my god. Yeah, just like, and fuck you too. I swear to God, that's half of my vibe most of the time.